keep trying to ignore the political state of this country because it really, really upsets me and it affects my peace, my mental health, like many other people. And I think specifically for YouTube, I'm trying to consider the idea of only releasing long format videos, 30, 45 minutes, 1 hour and longer, and maybe keeping the shorter videos for other platforms like TikTok, Facebook, Instagram. I think it might just make more, maybe even economic, financial sense for me. But I just want to highlight these things briefly before I get out of here. In Durban, the ANC has decided to spend, I think, 22 million rand on 2 statues for Nelson Mandela and Oliver Tambo at a time when we need all the money we can to try and fix things in this country. Very tragic, and I'm sure a lot of people are going to be making a lot of noise about it. At Maponya Mall, Uber drivers were shot at, Uber Bolt drivers were shot at, and I think their vehicles were burnt by taxi drivers, maybe even taxi owners. And I've said before that our country is run by thugs. Not just the taxi industry, also the drug lords and the drug gangs. Our politicians are obviously big criminals. Some of the people that are minority capital, some of the wealthiest business people in this country are big criminals. Some of the big church leaders are big criminals. And I think the solution for me to you is to fight against the thugs. That means vote differently. That means buy from local small businesses that invest back into the community. That means go and learn how to use a gun and get weapons. A lot of these guys, including some of the corrupt elements of the police, their power source is, I have a gun and you don't. And once you have a gun and you know you can shoot back and maybe even lift some weights in gym and be able to fight so that you can fight back, they'll stop taking you for a fucking puss. The people of Hammanskraal have been told they'll have drinkable water by March 2024, which sounds like political campaigning. I would not hold my breath, unfortunately. But a part of me does believe that the people of Hammanskraal deserve what's happening to them. My sympathies and condolences go out to the family members who have lost loved ones. But you guys have to take accountability because you keep voting for the same useless leadership. You guys keep spending your money with certain business people in your areas who do not invest back into the town. How many of the businesses around Hammanskraal are taking some of their profits and handing out free, fresh water to their customers? Are setting up boreholes for their customers, are paying money for JoJo tanks and the like for their customers? I can imagine very few, because their priorities are actually not their customers. Their priorities are somewhere else. So the people of Hammanskraal need to take accountability for some of the things that are happening to them. Jamie Foxx is arguably, I think, might be going blind. I think some of the reports are saying he might be going blind. He's had a stroke. He's not in a good condition. And they are linking it to side effects of the COVID vaccine drug. And I just want to officially say fuck you to the World Health Organization. I don't even know if this video is going to be taken down. I want to say fuck you to our government. Fuck you to everyone who was peddling the bullshit and not allowing us to just ask questions and to say, but have you considered this? But you guys have explained that viruses operate like this. You guys have explained. And today, a lot of the people who are aggressively pro-vax are silent. They're not apologizing. Guys, we may have been wrong. Guys, you might have had some points. Guys, social media was wrong for throttling and banning you and blocking you for asking key questions because there are side effects. They've been seen and some of the people have been affected. Every day we were shoved down our throats. We were told, oh, these people died of COVID. These people died of COVID. Today, some of the side effects that are harming people, we're not being told. It's quiet, deafening silence. Of course, by the pharmaceutical industry, which is another very gangster organization that infiltrates governments and other parts. A lot of your influencers who are going around telling people, go get the jab, are not coming back today and saying, guys, I was paid. I was trying to make money. I was promoting a product like anything else. And maybe I was wrong. And some people may have been hurt. And here we are today. I don't know officially if Jamie Foxx is in that state because of the COVID vaccine. But some of the articles are linking it to that. And I can imagine so many other cases that are exacerbating maybe underlying conditions. But unlike during the COVID mania, we're not having the same thing now. And so many people that are respected, medical doctors, scientists, people in government, other so-called intellectuals, were talking the biggest load of bullshit during that time. And today they are not coming back to have conversation. And it really saddens me. So I wanted to speak on those things. Take care of your mental health, man. Cyril Ramaphosa saying people can survive without electricity but not water, triggering people. Very upsetting for me. Some of the political parties and some of their leaders and some of their utterings at this time are very upsetting. the South African Reserve Bank under Lisitja, I think Lisitja Kganyago, I think might be the governor of the Reserve Bank, the continuous interest rate hikes. And there were debates I had on a group yesterday about whether this is good for the economy or not. And they were saying, well, it's bad for the short term, but in the long run, it's going to lower prices. I studied economics, man, and these were the debates we used to have in class because economists are like quasi-philosophers. And I call bullshit because I'm like, I haven't seen on the ground in South Africa where interest rate hikes have actually fixed this country. You know, I do think our government, maybe with minority capital and foreign investors, are trying to destroy our economy and trying to get more people on social grants and social welfare so that they are easier to control because they will be dependent on the system. And only the big businesses will survive, and the big businesses will get a chance to have dibs on our state-owned enterprises that have been collapsed, I believe intentionally, so that they can be passed on to Cyril Ramaphosa and his family members and his friends in business locally and internationally. And the DA wants us to fucking focus on not upsetting America and picking a side between Russia and Ukraine, instead of focusing their energy on ridding the Cape Flats and other townships of drugs and violence in the Western Cape. Instead of solving problems in their home, they want to fucking focus on what's happening in Russia and Ukraine. Because of course, the minority wealthy, especially in Cape Town, they've got business interests with the United States. They don't have business interests with Russia. And they're angry that the ANC is saying, you know, we will be diplomatic. We won't go against Russia. Oh, look what will happen. We'll get sanctioned. You're worried about your wealth and your money. You're not actually worried about the poor masses in this country. Your funders are saying, hey, speak out. So then people like Alan Windey and John Steenhuisen want to make a noise. It's bullshit. And fuck the ANC as well for being diplomatic and also not prioritizing their people. Cyril Ramaphosa, if he was a president, which is not, Naledi Pandor, all these so-called leaders that we have in government should be telling everyone, we don't give a fuck about Russia and Ukraine. We give a fuck about South Africa. And if Russia is going to help South Africans, we can work with them. And if the United States of America is going to help South Africans, we can work with them. If they are just looking for us to pick sides for their own fucking imperialism and agendas, we don't care about them. We care about South Africa and South Africans people. And if you guys are going to come and help us, by all means. If you're not, we don't care what happens out there. Because when America was bombing Iraq, Afghanistan, and other nations, we were not being asked to pick a side by the DA. Now that the United States is bombing Somalia and other places, the DA is not saying anything. When there are human rights violations by the United States of America, under George Bush, under Barack Obama, the DA is fucking silent. The ANC itself is also fucking silent, so they're not saints either. So fuck all the politicians and all the political parties. We need leaders that will put South Africans first. This nation of South Africa, or whatever your neighborhood is. Which again is why I'll support an Orania, why I'll support other people who are like, we are about our people. The Jewish people in South Africa, the Muslim people in South Africa, some of the church leaders in South Africa are like, as long as my people are good, as long as my people are safe, are eating, have jobs, are okay. Fuck everything else because other people don't seem to care about us. They don't. We are being run by thugs and criminals in this country, including the politicians, and the rest of us are being expected to just sit by and pick sides and talk shit. That's my piece. Again, I don't like making this type of content anymore because it annoys me, but we need to stay abreast of current affairs and what's happening in this country. Paying you all the black pen, man. Catch you on the flip side. Have a great day.